Hey everyone, Mike Settele here to talk about the single most important SAT strategy, the bookmarks. I've worked with lots of students over many years, and consistently, the students who incorporate this strategy into their process always do better, always see more improvement than the students who, for whatever reason, refuse to use the bookmarks. This is a major part of your prep, so hopefully by the end of this, you are convinced about how important it is. Let's answer 3 questions about bookmarks. What are they? When do we use them? Why do we use them? First, what are they? This is really easy. In the College Board's Blue Book app, we have this Mark for Review button next to every single SAT question from the practice test and on the real thing. That is the bookmark button. Most people use this when they're taking a test and it's under timed conditions to mark the questions that they want to go back to if they happen to have extra time left over at the end of a module. That's fine, you can still do that, but that is not the main purpose of thinking about bookmarks, okay? We're gonna use bookmarks even when they're not under timed conditions. All the exercises for my own students and the homework that I assign are gonna have that button to remind you to use it. And if you are working in the College Board Question Bank in Khan Academy, where that Mark for Review button isn't there, you should still be thinking about bookmarks for every single SAT question that you answer. So, when do we bookmark? Maybe the easier thing to start with is when do we not bookmark, okay? There's a simple thing that you should think about for every single SAT question. Have I proven my answer quickly and confidently? If you have, then you do not need to bookmark that question. That's our goal. But for every question, before you check the answer, okay, I want you to ask yourself 3 things. 1, did I prove my answer? 2, was I quick enough? And 3, am I confident that I did it right? If the answer to all 3 of these questions is yes, then you do not need to bookmark that question. And if you get it right, you can just move on. You were confident what you did and you were right about it. But if the answer to any of these questions is no, bookmark that question. You're gonna wanna review it at some point, whether you get it right or wrong. So it's a very important strategy for knowing which questions to look back on because we're looking for new opportunities to learn. And if the answer is no, and if we did have to bookmark a question, that's one we're gonna wanna learn from. So let's kind of flip the question back. When do we bookmark? These are just a few cases when I think we don't have that kind of sense of proof and quickness and confidence. Obviously, if we run out of time in a practice test and we have to randomly guess on some questions, bookmark them all so that you know to go back to them. If you are stuck between 2 answer choices for a question and you take an educated guess, that's still a guess. Bookmark that question. If you're picking something because the answer feels right, sounds right, your instincts tell you it's right, but you have not proven that answer, bookmark that question. If you have proven the answer, but it took you too long to do it, bookmark that question. There might be something that can make it faster. If you've proven that answer, but you suspect there might have been a better way to do it, bookmark that question. There's probably something to learn from it. And even if you are confident in your answer, but you know that it's a topic you struggle with, bookmark that question so you have a reminder to go back and learn about that topic in more detail. And this gets to why we are bookmarking. Most people make a mistake in their prep where they only think in this binary way about did I get a question right or wrong? But what bookmarks allow us to do is think in multiple dimensions. And we want to review questions. Now we have more reasons to review things. I know most of you are going to review questions you get wrong. That's great. We also need to review questions that we bookmark even if we get them right, because there's probably something we could have done differently to get it right more quickly or more confidently next time. So if we get something right that we did not bookmark, meaning we had proven the answer quickly and confidently, that's a success. We do not need to review that question. We did everything right. We have learned everything we need for that question. We want as many questions as possible to be in that category. Those are the only ones, though, that you do not have to review using my review videos, my explanation videos. On the other side of things, there are obviously going to be questions that we get wrong that we knew we might get wrong because we were struggling with them while we were working on them. So before you check that answer, you want to bookmark it and realize, okay, there was something that I didn't feel good about as I was doing this question. Don't beat yourself up if you get a few of those wrong. That's okay. It's actually good to recognize that you were struggling with a question before you got it wrong. But some of those questions you are going to get lucky and have a lucky guess. But those are questions that even though technically you got the correct answer, you might not have been correct in the way you solved it. So we're going to use the bookmark as a way to remind ourselves to review that question as well. You have to watch my video for anything that you got right but bookmarked. The worst thing that can happen is we get something wrong that we didn't bookmark. That means you were confident in a wrong answer. Why? That should never happen. This is the worst thing because it means you fell for a trap, you made a careless mistake, you thought you knew something that you actually didn't. This number, if you want a top score, needs to be 0. You get a couple hard questions wrong, it's not the end of the world. But if you are surprised by a wrong answer, that is really, really bad. And so what the bookmarks are allowing us to do is not just review more questions, okay? But also to understand in our review that there are good kinds of wrong answers and bad kinds of wrong answers. And the reason we got a question wrong matters if we want to improve our score. Before I let you go, one quick warning: if you are taking a practice test in the Blue Book app, it is not going to save those bookmarks when you hit that button. As soon as you submit your scores and your answers, it's going to just wipe away all the bookmarks. So record them on scratch paper so you've got another kind of reminder of what you bookmarked as you went. That's really easy to do. If you're working on any questions in my website, though, as one of my students, my tutoring portal does save your bookmarks, so you don't have to worry about that unless you're taking a practice test. Finally, just as a reminder, please, every single SAT question you want to be thinking about bookmarks, even if you are not under timed conditions. This is about understanding our confidence. So before you check your answer to every SAT question, ask yourself these three things. Did I prove my answer? Was I quick enough? Am I confident that I did it right? If the answer to any of these is no, bookmark that question and review that question using my explanation videos. Our goal, though, is that as many times as possible, we have proven our answer quickly and confidently. In those cases, we don't want to bookmark things. But if you can incorporate this strategy, I promise you will get better scores. If you refuse to do this, you will consistently fall for traps and you will not get the scores that you want. So I'm begging you now, please think about bookmarks for every question. It will pay off on test day.